First. Hey guys, if you guys are here early, I'm just gonna set up the room, send out the link, and then we can get started. Sorry, I'm starting a little late. I was finishing off my FTMO contract for the funded account, the new one I just got yesterday. So that took some time, but it's all done now. So I should be getting that account within 3 to 5 days, I think. So hopefully by next week, I could start trading it live. And then you guys can follow me on that as well. But you guys will know what's going on because I'm taking the same trades you guys are taking. Like we're all taking the same US 30 trade. So, you know, if I win, you guys win. Same thing. But yeah, guys, so give me a few minutes. Let me just get all these links out. I'm moving a little slow today. Today's a lazy day for me. The market's kind of slow anyways because we're getting closer to NFP. So a lot of people are pulling out of the market, you know, before NFP happens. Because you guys, you know, if you guys have been around for a while, you guys know how crazy it gets. And, you know, me personally, I don't even trade during NFP because it's just not worth the risk. It's way too risky. I mean, it's fun, you know, if you're gambling, it's fun. But, you know, me personally, I just don't want to take the risk trading something like that. That's literally pretty. It's pretty insane. It's like you never really know which way it's gonna go. It doesn't matter what news is going on. You know, it can go one way or the other, or it can go both ways and spike around. Well, let's see. All right, let me send out these links real quick. That. Send this to the Indices group as well if they want to join in. And let me get this on YouTube too real quick. I mean on Instagram, just so we can get other people if they want to join in. Well, let me pull this link real quick. All right, take a picture of this real quick. Cool. Tap in. Swipe up to join the K² webinar. Let's see. All right, cool. So we got quite a few people here. I'm just gonna post this on the Instagram real quick so we can get other people that aren't on the Telegram. There's a lot of people that want to join in, so I'm just gonna share this with the social media, and then we can get started, guys. But yeah, guys, like I said earlier, sorry for starting late. I was busy signing the contract for the new FTMO funded account that I got yesterday. So I was busy doing that, got that done. I should get the account within the next 3 to 5 business days, hopefully sooner, so that we can start trading it next week. And I'll give you guys like updates on that like every single day, like pretty much how I was doing before, but you know, obviously with the funded account now. Because I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of what happened before when I had my first funded account. You know, I got too careless, kind of similar with everyone else. I mean, it's a given. You know, FTMO is not, it's easy to pass, but it's hard to stay funded. So, all right, guys. So I think I've posted this everywhere already. Let's see, Telegram. I think we're good. All right, cool. So everyone is making their way in. While they're making their way in, I'm just going to look over the 2 trades that we have active right now. We currently have NZDCHF right here for a buy. Looks like we're slightly in profit right now. We had this like weird spike down, and then it shot right back up. So it's in profit about, I don't know, 2 or 3 pips, barely anything. We just entered Asia session, so it's going to move really slow. And we also have our odd NZD right here. So we told everyone to remove their stop loss right here. So, you know, technically you should still be in the trade if you did remove your stop loss. This is exactly why I give this warning every day. So if you look at, I mean, I sent it to the premium and I did send it to all the public groups too. So right here, every day at 1 o'clock, I always recommend that everyone temporarily cancels their pending orders or remove their stop loss during the swap spread, because crazy things like this happen. So like right here, you can see that price spiked up, and we can go on the shorter time frame just to show you guys, exactly when that happened. So it happened. So this was 1 o'clock right here, and then at 1:30, it literally spiked up. Let's see how many pips. Jesus, look at that. It spiked up like 65 pips. So this is why we always recommend to take off your stop loss during the swap spread, because crazy things like this happen. I mean, it was a weird gap. I don't think anyone even got stopped out. It was just a weird spike up, and then it came back down into profit. So this is why we always recommend to move your stop loss during or remove it during the swap spread, because a lot of crazy things happen. Like the spread gets all crazy. I think everyone in the chat was asking what was going on with the spread, but this is common. This happens every single day. And we're back in profit. So we're a few pips away. Let's see how many pips from TP1. We're only like 4 or 5 pips away from TP1 for a gain of 11 pips. Super small, but this was a small move that we were taking more specifically because of NFP. Like I mentioned earlier, NFP moves a little crazy. So we're just preparing. This might be the last trade we take for the week, depending if we see anything good at on the next 4-hour candle close. I'm going to pull up the news right now. I'm going to see if there's anything that we should be looking out for. All right, I got the news up right here. Let's see. We've got medium Euro news at midnight, my time, which is in about 8 hours. And then we got NFP 5:30 a.m. I'm definitely not trading NFP. You guys are free to trade it, but you know what happens during NFP. It could go really good or really bad, and I'm not trading to take any unnecessary risk. So I'm going to set out tomorrow. If you guys want to take it, feel free. Like I mentioned, it could be really good or really bad. So it's just really up to you guys how you guys want to approach that day. Let's see. John said, is it a good idea to add more to the position when it pops during credit swap? No, I don't recommend that, John, because like I mentioned here, like how this spike happened, it doesn't always correct like this. Like you see how it came back down, like literally there was no connection here. It shot up and then it just gapped down to here. So the thing is, this doesn't always happen where it corrects back down. It could spike up and then it can continue upwards. So if you added a position to that, I mean, you could get screwed because you hit stop loss and you basically would have a double loss. So me personally, I wouldn't add another position because it's just honestly, it's just way too risky and it's not worth the risk. Let's see. Teller said, what's the take profit on that, bro? So for odd NZD, the take profit is going to be 1.07631. If you guys are sharing the Telegram, I don't know if I share this with you guys in the free group. I know it's for the premium, but let's see. Yeah, sorry, I didn't share this with the public. So usually I share it on a delayed shared, but I think because of those weird spikes, I just didn't share it, but I'll share it with you guys now. So Taylor, if you're not in the premium and you're in the public groups, I just shared it right now. So you can see all the parameters right there. For odd NZD, full TP is going to be 1.07631. TP1, TP2 is right there. So if you can pull up the Telegram, you'll see it right there. And then you will see, what all parameters are. It's just a small move. It's for 45 pips. Normally for odd NZD, we usually try to push for something bigger, like 65 to 100 pips. But due to NFP, we're not trying to take any unnecessary risk. Like this right here, this is crazy. That's like a 65 pip move right here. Thankfully, it happened during the swap spread, so we were able to take off our stop loss, because if we didn't, we might have gone stopped out. So that's odd NZD. Just for the guys here that are new, feel free to put any questions, any concerns, any strategies you want me to cover in the chat. And then I can pretty much go over, whatever you guys want to cover. It's pretty much the floor is for your guys today. So like every day, basically, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and I can answer anything you guys need help with. But like I mentioned, it's going to be a slow night because we have NFP tomorrow, generally Thursday night before. A lot of people pull out of the market and you're going to see the market get really slow. And it's kind of getting slow right now. You can see, like, you'd probably expect this to hit TP by now, or pull back or something, because it's odd NZD. It moves pretty quick, and Asia session just opened right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to go down each pair. see if there's anything worth taking, you know, maybe any last minute positions before I pull out for the NFP tomorrow. But, you know, if not, then I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to force any trades, obviously, because tomorrow is just going to be too risky. Because look, this is what could happen. We could be here in a sell and we could be like right at full TP, right? And then right when NFP happens, this thing could spike like 100 pips in the other direction, which has happened before a lot of times. So tomorrow, like I mentioned, you know, for the news, there's medium news at midnight, where it's basically NFP for the euro. They're going to go over Spanish unemployment change. So it's the same thing just for Europe. So you could probably expect some crazy movements from, you know, the entire day, from like midnight until a little after 7, maybe 8 a.m. And then after that, it's probably going to just be dead until market close. So that's why I don't trade during NFP. It's just too risky. But if you guys want to trade it, you know, feel free. But I always recommend you have a stop loss, or even if you have a stop loss, you might get hit with some slippage. So I'd be careful if you decide to trade during that time. But okay, so it doesn't look like we have any questions right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each pair that we have on our watch list. I'm going to go by them one by one, see if there's anything worth taking. And if not, then I mean, we'll just keep checking out, because the next 4 hour candle closes at 6 p.m. So we still got like an hour and a half until that happens. So I'm just going to mark up the charts and see if we see anything coming. Let's see. Josh said, explain London and US 30 entries. And Brian said, does the daily US 30 strat only work for London and New York? So Brian, the daily strategy actually works for all time frames, but I've only back tested it on New York and London. So I know that it works very good on New York and London. There's someone else in the group. I don't want to like put his thing on public, but there was someone else in the premium. I forgot who hit me up. But yeah, there was someone in the group. They said that they back tested it during Asia session, and they said it was pretty good. It was like 4 out of 5 for like the entire month of September, which is pretty good. So it kind of opened my eyes to it, because I did try it during Asia session. I just haven't figured out the sweet spot. Like, you know, for the New York session, I know the sweet spot is on the New York Stock Exchange Open. Same with London. You know, London Open is a sweet spot. For Asia, it's a little different. So I'll have to back test that a little more, although it does work. So let me go on US 30 over here. And yeah, this is the US 30 chart on the 10-minute. This is what we were waiting for. We didn't take this trade because it came out a little too late. Generally, we usually like to take the trade when the market first opens over here. But, you know, once it gets closer to lunchtime, this is when the market starts acting weird, because like 3-4 hours into the market, this is usually what happens. It'll push in one direction. And if we don't get a valid signal here to enter, what happens is it usually goes in the opposite direction. Kind of similar with the market shift for, you know, session to session. This is just, you know, the initial move. Like right here, this is the US move, and then it kind of pushed up a little bit, came back down. And then look, this is when Asia opened right here. So you can see right here that basically, so this is when the Aussie market opened. So as soon as the market shifted, so it went from a downtrend, which, you know, it's kind of clear here. Let me just draw it for you guys just to make it clear. So you can see right here clearly during the US session, it was in a downtrend. Generally what happens when it moves from session to session is that it goes the opposite direction. However, this move started way down here, halfway through the market. And I didn't call this trade because I had a feeling this was going to happen, because generally when we do take our trade, it happens within the first, you know, 2 or 3 hours, or even like the first candle over. So maybe like 1 to 2 hours after the market opens, that's generally where we have our entry within this zone right here. But the entry didn't come until way over here. Oh, sorry, wrong indicator. The entry didn't come until way over here, and that's why I didn't take it, because it was super late, and I wasn't even at my desk. I usually leave my desk around 10 a.m. So right here, I leave my desk, I go to the gym, and, you know, we usually have the entry from right here. So if we don't have the entry within this area, then I just skip it, because it just becomes too risky. Plus, it is NFP week, and I did send the chart out for that. Let me go to the thing. I did send out the chart and it was at support. So, I mean, good thing we didn't take it. See right here. So price came down. We got that sell signal, but it was literally at support right here. So I said that it was at support. I told everyone that I ended up not taking it and I didn't call a trade. Good thing I didn't call it, because if I did, we would have gotten screwed. But I will go back and look at the previous day, and then I'll show you guys, what we do, because Josh wants us to go over it. Let's see. So Brian said, what is NFP? So Brian, NFP is non-farm payroll. Basically what they're going to do is they're going to announce the unemployment data in the US. This is usually one of the most manipulated times in the market. It happens once a month. So it's like the first Friday of every full month, or the first week of the month. So tomorrow is going to be October 2nd, first Friday of that month. And they're going to release the unemployment data. And generally what happens is a bunch of people are betting on whether the economy is going to be good or bad. So basically, depending on that news, it could spike US 30 in one direction or the other. Obviously, if unemployment is good, the economy is good. If unemployment is low and the economy is good, it's going to shoot the US 30 up, because it's the the top 30 stocks. In the opposite, it'll push price down. So that's why I don't like to trade it, because what happens is generally the price will get manipulated. So say the unemployment data is good, right? So people are anticipating it to be good. What they do is they spike price up slightly, and then when you least expect it, it comes crashing down and stops everyone out. So that's why I don't like to trade it, because I don't like trading when the market's manipulated, because you really don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of like flipping a coin, heads or tails. You might as well go to a casino at that point. But let's see. So we got Dominic's here. Oh yeah, so Dominic made it. Welcome. Brian said, can we look at the 4 hours? Let me just pull up the 4 hour real quick. And Josh, I didn't miss your question. We're going to go over the entry soon. I just want to go over all the questions first before I dive right into the strategy. But yeah, Brian, so here is the 4 hour right here. See, looking at it on the 4 hour, it looks like, here, I'll just draw some zones so we can see where the rejection points are. And then after I analyze this real quick, we will go over the strategy so that Josh and everyone else can see, how we apply the strategy. Let's see. Let's mark these up right here. This zone right here. Perfect. Josh said to go over London. So we'll go over London. Let's see. There's Ray. All right, cool, Brian. So we'll check this out. I got this all lined up right here. I got all of the K2SR zones. You can see price respects these K2SRs very well. It goes from zone to zone. And where price currently is right now, you can see that the candle's pretty dead. It's literally like a little doji. Generally, like, the candles are pretty heavy. Like, check this out. Like during the week on the 30th, well, this was yesterday. It pushes up pretty nice, but then once we get closer to NFP or like towards the weekend, it just slows down a lot. So you can see normally these candles move about, let's see, like about 400, 500 pips, but you can see the current candle right here. It's only moving like 100 pips. That's like a quarter of what it normally moves. And you can see right here, generally once it gets close to the weekend, like right here, this was, I think, Thursday or Friday as well, you can see that the candles start to get slower and slower. So generally towards the end of the week, I usually like to just sit out the market. And, that's why I didn't take the trade today, thankfully. Oh, Dominic, my bad. So Dominic said, I'm here because I'm the person that talked about who back tested Asia entry. Yeah, so Dominic's the one that back tested the Asia session. That's what we were talking about earlier, Brian. The daily entry. And Dominic said that it's like a 4 out of 5 win rate, I think, for last month, which is super, super good. And I think Dominic said that the best time, or they start looking at the entries at 4 p.m. And then if the candle doesn't appear, like the signal candle doesn't appear within the first hour, or if it does, they skip it. And then if it happens after, I'll just show you later. Let me see. I sound stupid right now. Just showing you on the 4 hour. So basically, what Dominic does is looks for the entry after 4. So 4 is like right here. Nah, Brian. So Asia market starts at 4 p.m. our time. So 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So it just started right now, actually. And then it runs until 10, I think. So basically right here, Dominic like waits for the first signal. And if it happens within the first hour, which is going to be like this one right here, I think Dominic skips it and then waits for the next one. So let's see, 16. So I think Dominic would skip this one and just take the next one. We can go and back test that later. I'm just not 100% with that strategy. I remember Dominic was mentioning it, but I got to go and reread what we talked about. There's a lot of stuff going on that day, but I think this is a basic gist of how Dominic applies it. And, you know, if it's 4 out of 5, that's pretty good. Like 90% win rate. If you, I don't know if that's 90%, but, you know, somewhere around there, it's a high win percentage. Here, let's just find out. 80%. I mean, it's better than 50. Yeah. So yeah, if you have an 80% win rate, like say if you were to take this trade and you know you're going for 1,500 pips each time, and then you have you know times 5 minus 1, you still have 6,000 pips. And if you're trading this with like a mini lot, you would have locked in 6,000 within that week or month or you know however you traded it, which is really good. Yeah. So Dominic said 120 pips last session for a buy, which is really nice. I mean, that's pretty good. You know, it becomes a numbers game at this point because I think Dominic even took it during news, and you know, if it works during news, that's crazy because you could literally take every single entry and then eat your losses, but then at the end of the week, end of the month, you're going to end up in profit. So if you could keep your emotions out of it and just like take the trade, it'll be a little crazy. Let's see. Okay, sorry. We're getting a bunch of questions. Let me just go down the list again because I don't want to miss anyone else before we keep going. Yeah, Brian. So like, so I'm going to go back to your question where you said within 2 hours. So generally when we're taking the US session entry, here, let me just go back. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark up each session so that we could be aware of when these entries appear. So 6:30 right here. And then let me just take these off so I could, since we're focusing on US 30, I'm just going to mark up all of the entries here. Or, you know what, sorry guys, let me change the chart to US 30 for Owanda because I think that's what everyone uses, right? So it makes more sense for us to just use Owanda. So I'm just going to mark up I'm going to go up like probably a couple of days. I'm just going to put the vertical line so that you guys can see each point of entry for us. So there's no confusion as to like what session we're looking at. And I'll be quick about it, guys. I won't take too much time on this really. We could look up Asia session too, since Dominic mentioned it. It's something that I've been wanting to backtest since we talked about it yesterday, because that's pretty good. I mean, if you have above a 50% win rate, or you know 60%, and you take every single trade, I might have to go and code a robot or something to take those trades for me, because if that's the case, you know, make a lot of money doing this, especially US 30, easy money. I mean, you know, if our win rate doing it as a human is good enough, imagine if you just had a robot doing it for us. That'd be crazy. I don't even have to bother with like watching the charts and waiting for things to happen. I could literally just set it and forget it. All right, let's see, 28th. Let's go back one or two more days, and then we'll keep. And then I will I'll go through the strategy. So I'll go back to Josh. Well, Josh's question earlier, he wants us to go over the London entry, London entries, I guess, you know, multiple entries. So that'll be perfect because we could just knock all this out at once. So I don't have to get lost in the mix. right, so the 28th, 27th. Okay, perfect, because the 27th is the start of the week. So let's go to, that's the 16th right here. I think 27th was Sunday, right? Okay, so I don't know if we even took this one. So I'm just going to avoid the Sunday one. But here's the whole week. So I have it all marked up right here. All vertical lines go from session to session. Right here is London. It's at midnight. 6:30 is going to be New York Stock Exchange Open. Asia session, London, New York, Asia, London, New York. And then I'll just put up the zones just to, I mean, as long as they don't get in the way. Okay, so I'm going to put up the zones, but if they get in the way, I'm just going to take them off. Sorry, wrong thing. So let's zoom out of this. Just going to draw these zones right here. You know, price is way up there. I'm just going to make a big zone. It just kind of doesn't make sense for us to have that open space. All right, so we're good with that. Got the zones lined up. Let's go back to the 10-minute. All right, so it looks a little messy, but we'll just use it for now. Okay, so let me keep going down the questions real quick. I just want to make sure I don't miss anyone's question before we get too involved in the US 30. So see, Tiffany said, is it forming a flag pattern? Let's see. You know, personally, I don't trade patterns, Tiffany, sorry. So I can't really say. I don't want to sound like an idiot and act like I know what I'm talking about, because I don't do that. But here, let's look it up, because I honestly don't trade patterns at all. But we can see what it looks like, and then we can see if it's actually forming. You know, but I'm not going to fake it and say that, oh, it does look like, or it doesn't look like flag pattern. All right, cool. So this is a flag pattern. It looks like flags. Okay, so basically a flag is like a bullish move up, or if it's trending up. Okay, it's basically an opposite. It's a break in trend, basically. You know, that's just the basic gist of it. So let's just draw this out real quick. Let's see. So if I mark this up from here, see, this is why I don't like patterns, because it could be so subjective. Literally, you know, someone could identify this as the swing. So this is swing down, swing up. So, you know, this would be the trend, or some people will measure it from up here. This is why I don't like to really trade patterns and stuff like that, because it's super subjective. Like what I see could be totally different from what someone else sees. So if this is I mean, I guess if this was the trend, then yeah, it could be considered. Let's see. Yeah, I guess it could. So like looking at this example right here, because I was thinking that it might have to like shoot out, like kind of like how it's drawn right here. But just looking at this example, if it could consolidate below it, then I guess this could be considered a flag pattern, because it could be consolidating sideways before it shoots up. But who knows? I mean, honestly, I don't trade patterns, so I wouldn't really know. You know, I'm not a guru at this. I only trade momentum. So, I mean, this is the best as I can do, Tiffany. Sorry if it doesn't look good, but I mean, it's just going sideways. So I don't know if it's gonna, you know, because the thing is tomorrow's NFP, so it could literally go either way. It could spike up or it could spike down. You know, the market's not going to move as it normally does right now, just because, you know, the current things that are going to happen soon with NFP and stuff. It's a pretty heavily affected event. So I would just be patient, me personally. So I guess it kind of looks like a flag here, but let's look at it from my perspective. So from my perspective, I'll look at the trend, and it's still trending down. So for me personally, I don't think it's a flag pattern, because I think it's going to reject off here and come down. You know, if it was a flag pattern like we went over earlier, then I would assume that, where did we mark that from right here? Yeah, so if it was a flag pattern, it'd be doing the opposite. It would be going towards the upside, right? So literally, this is what I mean with, you know, different strategies. Like there's no right or wrong strategy, but for me, I would think for it to come down, if someone was trading patterns and saw this as a flag pattern, then they'd anticipate it to go up. There's no right or wrong analysis here, because literally you could do either one. And then on top of that, with the news, you know, anything could really happen, to be honest. So I think you're still in that sell, right, Tiffany? So I wouldn't worry too much if you're still in that trade. Let's see. All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure nothing else was followed up. All right, cool. So yeah, so there was my little sorry analysis of a flag pattern that I don't really know how to trade, but I did my best. So there's that, guys. I'm gonna keep going down the list real quick, and then just make sure we don't miss anything before we continue down. Yeah, so for Josh wants to go over London US entry, so we'll do that. I'll go through the whole week, and then let's see. So Taylor said, what's the best pair to focus on as a beginner? Honestly, I don't think there's like one easy pair. I would personally just go with a major pair. Like maybe like something that's crossed with the odd USD. I mean, not odd USD, anything that's crossed with the USD. So like odd USD, Euro USD, GBP USD, NZD USD, UJ. UJ is probably the best one. I like UJ, I like GJ, because they both move pretty nice and they move pretty smoothly. So I would go with one of those two, probably just GJ. This is one of like most people's favorite, GJ. But if you want something a little smoother, you can go with UJ too. So, and this is actually a pretty good pair to trade currently, because, you know, with COVID going on, it's usually like one-sided. Oh, nice. So check out our odd NZD, guys. We're about to hit TP1, and then our NZD CHF, it's still on its way up, but it's just really slow. But I was gonna show you UJ. So looking at UJ, you can see here, like with the zones plotted, it moves pretty smoothly. So Taylor, if you want to check out something that's like easy to read, I would probably just go with UJ. I think we've had a lot of success with UJ in the past too. So I'm sure you're in the group. So if you saw any of our UJ trades, they usually hit. So I would stick to UJ for now, probably. And then you can also look at the other major pairs. Basically anything crossed with the USD. Let's see. All right, Brian said if it's not within the first hour, he skips to the next signal. Yeah, that's right, for the Asia session one. Brett said, how long did it take for Asia to hit TP into London? Which one are you talking about, Brett? Let me see. So let's see. Asia session was right over here. Let me see if there was one that appeared yesterday. Yeah, so like right here, this is a perfect example of what Dominic was talking about. So I'm just gonna put a time period that's right here, which is from the open until this one. I think Brett, sorry, not Brett. I think Dominic said the first 2 hours, right? I don't know if yeah. So I think if you were applying that strategy that Dominic was mentioning, so this first signal right here appeared 2 hours later. So you would have skipped this one, which would have been a losing trade, I'm assuming. Let's see how many pips does it move. Yeah, this would have been a loss. So if you did follow Dominic's strategy for Asia session, where Dominic waited 2 hours. So this is 2 hours out, and then the first buy signal right here. So I think this is the one that Brett's talking about, I'm assuming. But let me measure it. So like, yeah, right here, it looks like it didn't hit full TP, but it would have hit half TP, like TP1. So on this right here, generally, you know, what we recommend is once it reaches TP, like half TP, usually we use 2 TPs if the market's moving nice. If the market's moving crazy, we use 3 TPs. But recently the market's been moving pretty smooth. So our TP1 would be halfway, which should be somewhere around here. And generally what we recommend is once price reaches here, I'll be exact. There's no point in eyeballing it. So that's TP1 right there. Basically, once price reaches this point, we always advise that you move your stop loss to this point right here, so that if price was to reverse on you, like it comes up right here, and then if it comes back down, it stops you out in profits. You lock in 750 pips right here versus, you know, risking it and trying to go for the full 1500 and end up getting stopped out because you didn't move your stop loss in profit. So I think, so this thing ran until, so yeah, it hit halfway to TP like way later, like at midnight. So right on London Open, that's where it started to act kind of weird. And this is what I was talking about earlier. So basically price goes like from each session, it usually moves in one direction. So like right here, you can see that during Asia session, price came up. And then during London session, price came down. And then it came up a little bit and then it dropped further for New York session. And then literally it goes back and forth. Like you can see right here during, see, this is New York session. New York session went sideways. Let me just take the indicators off so it doesn't look messy. So during New York session went sideways. Then for Asia, it went up halfway, and then halfway through the market, it came back down. And then once we opened London over here, it went upwards. So you can see that it kind of gives off a pattern when it moves from session to session. And that's why during New York session, if we don't get a trade within the first 2-3 hours, then I usually just sit it out, because like I mentioned right here, see this time period right here went from 3 hours. That's exactly what I just said. Like if the trade doesn't happen within this time period, usually what happens is price will go in reverse. So we'd even be safer and keep maybe 2 hours. So if no trade comes within this period, the thing is you want to get caught in this move up right here, because you would have entered this trade right here, you would have gone stopped out if it reversed hard on you. So that's generally why I don't take it if it comes out too late. I know some people still do, and it does work sometimes, but you know, you guys know how I trade. I'm very conservative. Like I'd rather not take a unnecessary risk and, you know, better my odds rather than just risk taking a trade later into the session. But okay, so let me keep going down the questions up here again, see if I missed anything else. Tiffany said, why do you skip the first signal for Asia, but we take the first after for New York and London? Dominic said, depends on the day, but yes, normal around London. It's okay, yeah, so Dominic's explanation said because Asia is really slow. So I agree with Dominic's response. And this is usually why I don't even trade during Asia session, because it's just way too slow. Like check out the volatility from, okay, so from like right here from New York, it moves about 2,600 pips, right? Check out Asia. Asia, like for the first couple, let's see, from open until like 2-3 hours later, this thing barely moves. It moves like a maximum of 500 pips. So, you know, compare 2,600 pips to 500 pips. That's a big difference. And that's why I agree with Dominic's analysis with, you know, Asia session, where Dominic lets it run for a few hours before taking a trade, because you don't want to get caught in the consolidation. Because generally so let me just rewind to this point right here. So generally when price consolidates, like it's moving right here, it's basically preparing for a breakout. You know, it could either break out upwards or break out downwards. And the thing is, you don't want to get caught in this, because what if you get a signal? Let me turn on the indicators. So there was no signal there, but if there was a signal and you took it in the wrong direction, it would have spiked opposite of you. So like, check this out. As it moves, spikes up, and what happens after that? Spikes right back down. It's pretty crazy. So that's super risky. And that's why, I mean, for the most part, that's why I don't like to trade during Asia, because most of the time it's consolidating and you don't want to hold on to a trade that's going sideways. Let me see if I can find an example here. Like you don't want to hold on to a trade that's going sideways and then it ends up spiking in the opposite direction, like right here. So say you're in a buy, right? Let me see if I could find. Okay, so like something like this right here. I mean, technically it's not consolidating, but say if you were in a buy right here and then literally it'll go sideways for a bit. And then as soon as it reaches the next trading session, it goes complete opposite. So like literally you're kind of screwed just holding on to this trade for X amount of time. And then when you least expect it, you get screwed because you enter into New York session right here and it drops. This is kind of what happens when Marcus calls the London entries, and then I call the New York entries. So he calls a buy during London and I call a sell during New York, and we're like, fuck, we're both in the opposite direction. Like we both want it to go in the same direction, but it doesn't always happen that way. And that's why I usually don't hold trades into the next session. That's why when we take a New York entry, if it gets kind of too late, like around lunchtime, I just exit and profit because it just gets too risky at that point. And I don't want the trade to reverse on me. But yeah, so let me keep going through here real quick, see if there's anything else that we're missing. Dominic said it rarely pops within the first hour, but pisses me off when it does. Yeah, no, I agree, because you get so tempted to want to take the trade, but I know Dominic from Dominic's backtest that it usually is a bad decision to take that entry. So let's I'm gonna just take off these zones, Brian. Sorry, because it just makes the chart look super messy, and I don't think it's super relevant because we don't use the zones as much anyways when we're taking the daily entries. There we go. So it looks a lot cleaner this way. So let me keep going down real quick. Rally pops. Taylor said, you said something about you don't like when the market is being manipulated. How do you know when it's being manipulated? So Taylor, generally for me to identify when price is being manipulated, it's generally when news is happening. So what I do is I go to forexfactory.com. This is the website. I click on calendar up here. You can change it to your time zone. This is mine right here, Pacific time. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So I have that set. I go to calendar and I try to look out for news events. So when these news events are happening, generally I usually don't trade during this time. Or if I do, like if I have an active position, I move my stop loss and profit just in case price spikes around and gets manipulated, and then I get stopped out in profit. So it's like a win-win for me because I can guarantee my profits, eliminate my risk, and possibly shoot for full TP. So these are usually times when, price is being manipulated, because the thing is, it doesn't matter whether the news is good or not. It could still spike price in the other direction. So let me see if there's an example right here. So for USD right here, the unemployment data was good. So let's see. Yeah, so unemployment data was good on the first, right? Let me see. Today is the first. So let me see what happened with USD at 5:30 a.m. Okay, so like check this out. The news came out at 5:30 a.m. that unemployment data was low, right? So what do you expect to happen when unemployment data comes out and it's good news? You would expect the stock market to go up, right? But look what happened. It went the opposite direction. This is like clear manipulation right here, because like fundamentals will indicate that if unemployment percentage is lower, you would expect the stock market or whatever, the economy to be better, but then the stock market comes down. But I mean, that's not the only factor that affects the market, but that's just a simple example as to of manipulation, because you would expect if unemployment's lower than it was last month was 873,000. This month it's 837,000. That means that there's more jobs, right? If there's more jobs, shouldn't the businesses be doing better? And shouldn't the stock market go up? But it didn't. It went down. So that's why I don't like to trade during news events, because the thing is, so this is the thing. This is what I was mentioning earlier. So we know that COVID is getting better, right? Or it's like, somewhat getting better. So unemployment data is getting better as well. So when that happens, literally everyone and their moms thinks that the market's going to get better, right? So what happens? People buy into the stock market, And what do the market makers and institutions do? They push in the opposite direction to take everyone's money. So that's why I don't like to trade during news events, because it's just a breeding ground for manipulation and for people to get trapped in these trades. So for me, instead of taking that risk, I just sit out the market, because it's just not worth the risk, you know. But you know, if you want to be a gambler, you know, then by all means, because you can still make money trading news. But me personally, I like to be safe with my trades and conserve my capital for when the market's good. So that's just my take on it. But there's a lot of different ways to analyze it. I mean, there's not just one way. But like what I mentioned with news, it could literally go either way. Even if the news is good, price could still go down. If the news is bad, price could still go up. So, you know, it's really up to you whether you want to trade during news, but that would be the time for manipulation, be a time during news events. Oh, we got TP1 on Odd NZD, guys. Check that out. Man, I love that sound, that notification sound, because it just lets me know that we hit TP. All right, so I'm just going to send an update for you guys. You guys see the behind the scenes work of K2 when we hit a TP. Like 11 pips. Oops. All right, there you go. A little update right there. All right, let's go back to it. All right, so let's see. All right, cool. So we are back. So let's go back to the daily US 30 entry. So let me I'll start from the beginning of the week and then we'll move forward. All right, so this was the first trade that we took. I took it with you guys. Trying to say, yo, the intro music to the tutorial is blaring. I know it's that loud TV sound. All right, so let me just put the requirements right here. This is going to be the K2 daily US 30 strategy. And then so the first requirement is look for entries on London Open, which is going to be 12 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time, or New York Stock Exchange Open, which is going to be 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. Second requirement, identify the first valid K2 signal. And then lastly, enter on the open of the following candle. Super simple, guys. Like, it's not rocket science. So, all right, we'll just go and rewind to this point right here. Oh man, where did that thing go? All right, perfect. So here we go. All right, look for entries on, or sorry, not on, after. So we never take entries that are on the 12 a.m. candle or the 6:30 a.m. candle. We have to look for it after. I got to emphasize it after, because a lot of people ask me the same question after, okay? So right here is the London Open. It's midnight. It's 12 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So once this happens, all you have to do is wait for the first valid K2 signal. A valid signal is if it's a buy signal with a green bullish candle inside. A valid sell signal would be a red sell signal with a red bearish candle inside. So here's midnight. Here's the first valid signal. That's it. Those two requirements have been met. You can enter on the open of the following candle. So we enter right here for a long position. Generally, I like to use a 1500 pip stop loss and TP. So if we let that run, we let it run for a bit, and there you go, full TP. And that's it. That's the strategy. It's super simple. So we call this in the chat. Let's see. Just want to show you guys here that this is something that we called live. You know, this is what we actually apply. It's nothing different here. It's literally the same thing. So let's go to here, US 30. All right, so what do US 30 on Monday? So right here on Monday right here, we had Marcus send the unofficial, and then I said make that official because I was taking it too. Like I was gonna call it, but Marcus didn't realize that I was up and I was gonna call the trade. So we both called it at the same time, and then we both took it. So here's the entry right here. I mean, his chart looks a little different, but you can see how it's the same thing because we have the sell signal right there and the buy signal right there, right? Same thing right here. Sell signal right here, buy signal right here. We took it, hit TP. We gave the update after, so that it hit full TP, 1500 pips. There's my profit. I like smashed the K2 daily London entry, and I made 2,280 off that. So there was the London entry right there. And then the next entry is right here. So let me back up. All right, so right here, same exact thing. Look for entries after not London, New York Stock Exchange open, which is 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So I have it marked right here, 6:30 a.m. So we have that first requirement met. Next, you need to identify the first valid K2 signal. Right here is a valid buy signal because it's a green buy signal with a green bullish candle within it. So once those two requirements are met, we do the same exact thing. Enter on the open of the falling candle right here, right? Same thing, 1500 pips. We let that run. And what do you know? It didn't hit our TP. I think it hit like TP1 or something. Or let me just let it run. Yeah, see, this is what happened here. This is what I mentioned earlier. If you hold it into the next session, what happens is price generally goes the opposite way. So price went here for US session, and then I personally would have exited, you know, somewhere before it, or I would have exited at TP1 somewhere over here. So the way that we send our signals out, but here, I'll just let it play out so I can show you guys that it ended up hitting stop loss, I guess. Yeah, so it ended up hitting stop loss right there, but I got it at TP1. So let me just show you guys what happened here. So when price comes up over here, I'll show you what the signal looked like, actually. That would make more sense. All right, so I sent this right here, the K2 daily New York session, US 30 buy stop entry. You know, we had TP1, TP2, and here's TP1. I'm just gonna put a line on the chart so you guys can see where it was. So basically, if you're using the exit strategy that I advise, generally when price reaches this specific price point, TP1, what I do is I move my stop loss to that point so that if price was to reverse on us, so price is up here, if it comes down, I get stopped out and profit. However, if it keeps shooting up, you can hit full TP. So at this point, I moved my stop loss in profit and I got stopped out. And I have the profits to prove it right here. So like right here, you know, we hit TP1. I put K2 daily entry looking great so far, almost at TP1. What happened was I exited at TP1 right here. So I hit TP1 and I said that I was holding it, but I ended up getting stopped out at TP1. So you can see my profits for that week. The London entry right here, I made 2,280. And then for New York session, I got out at half profit for about 1,050. So, you know, if you guys follow what I advise, you guys can have these same results. Like it's really simple. You know, unless you want to go full TP, which is fine. You know, you can let it run if you want. But me personally, I knew it was NFP week, so I knew price was going to be moving weird, and that's why I got out at that point. You know, it's better to have profit than have a loss. So, you know, if you could lock in some profits, that'd be better than risking it and having a loss. Because look, if I had a loss right here, I would have been screwed because I would have wiped out my profit from London and I would have been mad. But I'm good that, you know, I'm glad that I exited at TP1 and then I took my profit. So this is, I mean, this is pretty much a strategy. It's super simple. I call that entry right here too. Let me just show you guys. Where's it at? So there's the entry right there, guys. See that? Same one right here. So that's those two entries. Let me see what's here. Let me go through the questions real quick. Brian said, you want to wait until you are close to at least TP1, or else you don't allow it enough. Well, in the exit strategy, that's how the exit strategy works, Brian. So like basically when price reaches TP1, that's when you move our stop loss to TP1. That's the only time we move the stop loss. We don't move it to break even. We don't move it anywhere else. It just depends on which exit strategy you're using. But for the signals, I usually recommend that you move it to TP1. So if price reaches, so say if we had two TPs, right? Like say for this one over here. So say for this one right here, say we had two TPs, like TP1 was like right here, and then TP2 was like right here, right? So if we had that, when price reaches this point right here to this TP, like it did right there, okay, so like right here, so price comes up right here, what we do is we move our stop loss to this point right here. So if price was to come down, like retrace back, we would get stopped out in profit right here. And then once price reaches this point up here, then we move our stop loss to this point up here. So that's the way that I advise it if you're taking signals. Obviously, if you're applying the strategy yourself, there's a lot of different ways to apply the exit strategy differently. But me personally, I always recommend that your stop loss would be, I mean, the exit strategy that you use is a simple one. You know, until you get the simple one down, then I recommend moving to more complicated ones. But the simple one works perfectly fine. So it doesn't matter whether you use that or you use one of the more complicated ones. All right, let me keep going down. Brian, to stop you from getting stopped out. Yeah, exactly. So I move my stop loss in profit so that I could guarantee. So what happens is I guarantee this profit right here, like this whole area right here for like 800 pips, so that if price was to come down, I still locked in like 800 bucks. But if I got into full TP, I could get the whole 1500. So it's, you know, it's all about risk management. Let's see. Brian said, how do you quickly set appropriate stop loss TP, like 50% profit before TP1? So what happens is I set an alert right here. So basically, like I had that alert earlier when it hit TP1 for odd NZD. When it hits TP1, then I go in right away, or I'm already on the chart usually. I'm just sitting at the computer or I'm on my phone. Once it hits TP1, what I do is I just edit my stop loss and I put my stop loss to, you know, this price point. I'll just copy it and then I'll put it into my order so that my stop loss gets moved to that point. And if I get stopped out in profit, that's completely fine because I'm still making profit off that. But you have to be quick with it. So, you know, depending on how you're trading, if you want to let it run to full TP every single time, then you should just let it run to full TP because it's going to balance out at the end, you know, the wins and the losses because our win rate's pretty high. But if you want to adjust your position, then I recommend you do that every single time. Like don't go in between, don't go from adjusting your stop loss to only letting it run to full TP. If you're going to adjust it, make sure you adjust it for every trade. Or if you're going to let it run, just make sure you let it run for every trade. Because if you don't, it's going to create an imbalance within your profits. Because like some days you'll get half TP, some days you get full TP, some days you'll get all stop loss. It just really depends on, you know, you got to stay consistent with one type of exit strategy and one type of strategy that you're applying regardless. Let's see. Brian said, is there a tool command to apply the K2, the strat K2? Which one are you talking about, Brian? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. Is there a tool command to apply the K2 strat? Well, because the strategy is you apply it on your own. Like for this right here, you just, you know, you look for entries after that specific time and then you wait for the first entry and then you enter the trade. I'm not sure which kind of tool you're talking about. Let me see. Because there's nothing that you can use to like automatically enter it. I mean, there probably is a tool, but I don't have it, or it's something that you might have to make, you know, through a third party. Because I don't think you could auto trade on trading, but you could probably do it on MT4 if you have some sort of robot. show me again how to set the stop loss in trading view. So here, let me show you real quick. Here, let me I'll switch from my live account to a paper account, so I'll just show you how it looks like. Paper account. All right, let me just rewind it, and I'll just show you. So Brian, check this out. So like, say right here, you wanted to enter a sell, right? So you enter a sell for. So say you entered a sell right here, and you're in this position. So here's your stop loss, and here's your TP, right? So once you're in this trade, if you want to adjust your stop loss, you would click on here, and then you just change your stop loss. So if you want to move your stop loss to like say in profit, or you move it down to here, which is 27818, you just type in right here 27818. And then your stop loss gets adjusted. So if it moves in a profit, you could just drag and drop it. So if you want to drag and move it, modify. If you want to move it in profit, you can, but it's not in profit right now, so I can't move it at the current moment. But I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it. You could either drag it, you could type in the number into here. It's really up to you how you want to do it. No, you can't trade MT4 on TradingView. You could trade Forex.com if you have a Forex.com account, but you can't trade like Hugo's Way or any of those other unregulated brokers. The brokers that they allow on TradingView is going to be here. I'll show you. Log out. I swear there's more brokers, but I don't know what happened to them. There used to be another list right here. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Okay, so these are all the brokers that are accepted on TradingView. So I think the only brokers you can trade US 30 on would probably be Tradeovate, TradeStation, AMP, and I think that's it. Oanda if you're not located in the US. So if you're located in Canada, I think, and Indonesia, Oanda lets you trade indices. But if you're a US client, they don't allow it. So if you want to trade indices on TradingView, it'd have to be, I think, Tradeovate, TradeStation, and AMP. Those are the main three. But me personally, I use Forex.com for my Forex trades. And I think some people use FXCM. It just really depends on where you're located, because I don't think indices are allowed for US clients. That's why they don't allow it. Like you could trade indices, but you have to trade the actual future, like the US 30 future contract. It's a little bit different from indice, and it costs a lot more, and I think it requires margin because it's such an expensive thing to trade normally. But yeah, Brian, you can't. I mean, unfortunately, we can't trade. You have to open an account with one of these, like TradeStation, AMP, or Tradeovate. I'm thinking about moving to TradeStation for US 30, but it's like risky because, like I mentioned earlier, you have to open a margin account. And the thing is, if you open a margin account, you lose more money than you have, you're going to have to owe that. So it's just too risky. I'd rather trade on a cash account, or if I blow my money, it's fine. You know, I know what I've lost. It's not like I'm going to have to owe anything later. Let's see. So we got another question from Toon. What's up, Toon? So Toon said, is there a reason why I keep placing a trade and it enters the trade at a higher than usual? Yeah, Toon. So check this out. So I'm assuming you probably entered like odd NZD for like a sell, right? So you wanted to enter right here, but when you got in, price was like, you entered like down here, right, for a loss. The reason for that is because of the spread. So you can see the spread right here is 4.7. So when you enter, you got to pay that spread. So you got to enter at a loss for 4.6 pips. So even though you thought you entered at the entry right here, technically you entered down here. So generally, if you want to have that same, like that exact price point, you'd have to enter a little bit in the red so that you could get those 4 pips in there. But you know, that's just the cost of trading with a broker. That's how they make their money. They make their money off the spread, because if you like say you pay them the 4 pips, right? What they do is they get in and they get out real quick, and that's how they get paid. It's like when you Like, Tina, I know you're familiar with gambling, bro. Like the spread for like sports gambling, like if you're betting on a sport, you gotta bet the spread. Like it's like a +3 or a +4, something like that. It's the same thing with Forex. You know, like right here, if you want to enter a sell or a buy, it'll be a +4.9. You know, if you want to enter a sell, it's gonna be a -4.9. So that's pretty much how it works. Eugene said, can you use this indicator on MT4? Sorry, no, Eugene, this indicator only works on TradingView, but you can have TradingView on your Windows computer. It's I mean, it's web-based. You can literally use it on anything. Eugene said, I trade using MT4 app for Windows because my broker isn't linked to TradingView. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like for us, we do our charting on here, but I still put the trades on MT4 on my phone. I know it's a little bit of a hassle, but it's not really that difficult because once you like identify a trade, you can just enter it right away, and you don't really have to do much. But yeah, the reason why we can't port this to MT4 is because MT4 is just too outdated. You know, it's not going to be able to handle this type of data that we have from my algorithm. So it only works on TradingView. I'm not going to be porting it over. So if you ever want to use it, you're just going to have to use it on TradingView because the MT4 data is just way too old. It's super outdated. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't use it if I didn't need to, but I only use it on for my FTMO. That's literally all I use it for. And for US30, those are the only things I use it for. I trade all of my Forex through forex.com on TradingView. Let's see, is there any other questions? All right, cool. So I think that's it for the questions. Let me see if it's 5:20. So let me just, if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat. But while you guys are putting questions there, I'm gonna go through each pair. I'm gonna see if there's any entries for Asia session so that we can take, you know, our last entries for the week, if there's anything available. So I'm just gonna mark up the charts. Or they're already marked up. I have all the zones lined up ready. So I'm literally just going to go through them and I'm going to see if there's anything that there's that's worth taking. Man, I missed this trade right here. I should have taken it. Yeah. So we had a sell right here. I think I marked it up, but I didn't call it because it was too deep into the what's it should call it, into the zone down here, because I didn't want to enter this trade. Actually, this would have been a good trade. Damn, that was my bad. I should have called this. So this is a trade we missed, unfortunately. Let's see when it appeared. Actually, it was like at 6 a.m. I think there was something happening in the morning. Was there news this morning? Yeah, actually there was news. There was news at 7 a.m. and there was Canadian news at 6:30. That's why I didn't call that trade. Unfortunately, if we did take it, looks like it would have been a good trade. So I mean, it's fine. You know, water under the bridge. We just wait for the next one. Nothing there. Odd NZD is about to hit TP2 right here for 22 pips. Let's let it go. That'd be nice. So that'll give us a nice closeout. I think if we hit TP for odd NZD, full TP, and full TP for NZD CHF, that'd be good. Brian said, when you complete FTMO challenge, do they refund the initial fee? Yeah, Brian. So the your refund will come with your first payout. So basically, once you it's kind of like doing 3 challenges, because you have to do the challenge, then you have to do the verification, and then you still have to maintain the account during your first funded month. So once you pass the first funded month, that's when they give you your refund. But you have to survive that first funded month. So you got to be careful not to like do anything stupid, because like that happened with a lot of people where they got funded and then they just got way too confident, like myself. Like me too, I was one of the people that passed FTMO like super quick. I passed it within a couple days, and then I was like, damn, this is easy. So I ended up over leveraging, going crazy, and then I lost my funded. Well, technically I have one funded account there's like $100 left until it fails, but I'm not even using it because there's no point. But for that one I got refunded on, but it's pretty much done. So that one's done. And then I just got my new funded account today, or I got it. I passed it yesterday, and they're gonna give me the account in a few days. but that's pretty much how they refund your initial fee through your first withdrawal. CHFJPY, nothing here. Nothing there. So this would have been a decent entry. I think it just looked a little too risky. That's why I decided not to take it. Oh, because it was too close. It was only about 24 pips, or probably less than that if you include the spread, because the spread's 4 pips. So your CAD, nothing there. Tune's asking FTMO. So FTMO is what they do is basically, if you can like prove that you can trade properly, like you can trade consistently profitable, and you trade with proper risk management, then they give you a funded account. So like here, let me see. Pull up the website over here real quick. See FTMO. Let's see. All right, cool. So I got FTMO up right here. Tune, if you're still in the YouTube, I think you're still there. Oh yeah, so you're trying to do it. Tune said, I'm actually trying to make an account as well. Yeah, Tune. So like here, I'll send you the link right here. I don't know if this, when I had this affiliate link, there used to be some kind of promo going on where I think you get a free chance to like do it twice, but that code was from like May, so I don't know. I don't think it works anymore. I think FTMO just got too popular and they stopped honoring the code. But yeah, pretty much, this is the website. Basically, like first you have to pass the challenge where you have to, pass the objectives, and you go to verification, and then you get a funded account. So basically, depending on what account size you like, I always do the 100K. So you have the 100K. Within 30 days, you have to make $10,000 to pass the challenge, and then after that, you go through the verification. You have to make $5,000 in 60 days, which is super easy. Like it's like 2 or 3 US 30 wins. It's not that hard. And then you become funded. So those are pretty much the steps right there. And you guys can see this is my client area account. You can see my challenge right here. I passed it with 110,000, super easy. And then again, right here, my verification for 105,000. Then here's my email from FTMO. You are about to become an FTMO trader. Congratulations, you successfully passed your evaluation process. We verified your trading accounts. We're excited to welcome you among the funded traders. So I got my funded account here for 100K. And I'll probably get that in like 3 to 5 days. So this was my trading history right here. I kind of fucked up right here. This was my bad because I was stupid. Like this one Sunday where I think we tried to buy NASDAQ. I don't even trade NASDAQ. I don't even know why I took it. Like literally everyone was buying NASDAQ. So I was like, oh, well, fuck it. I'll buy NASDAQ too. And then look what happened. Fucking took a heavy loss. I almost lost the verification. I was like at 6,000 negative. And I was like, all right, I'm not taking any more trades I'm not taking more random trades. So I didn't take any more of those. And then I just took the daily US 30 and check it out. I came back quick. Went from 6,000 to 300 in profit. A small loss right here, and then straight to passing the verification. So it took me a little longer because I was taking it easy after I screwed up right here. This was my bad because I wasn't following my rules. This is why I keep telling people, like, you always have to follow your rules. Like sometimes I don't even follow myself, but if you follow it, this could have literally just went straight up instead of coming down like this and coming close to failing. Yeah, I mean, that's my verification. It's all done. About to get funded in a couple days, and then I'm about to get paid. So let's see. Tune said, if you fail once, what would happen? So before, they used to be more lenient with failing. Sometimes they give you an extra chance, but now they're super strict because they have so many people doing it that when you fail, you fail. That's pretty much it. You just if you want to do it again, you just have to pay the entry fee another time. And then yeah, you can do it again if you want. So let me go back to my account over here, because Brian said with a 100K account, what was lot size you were using? So here are all of my trades right here. Let me see. Yeah, so these are literally all my trades right here. So all my trades were about, there were 15 lot size, 20 lot. You should be using 15 lot size on 100K, but this was like me in the beginning. I was kind of messing around too much. Like I was just kind of taking reckless trades. Like right here, I took a 1500. I lost 1200, and then literally I was on a winning streak. And then I don't know why, just right here I started trading like dumb trades. I started taking NASDAQ, like bro, what am I doing? You know, I trade US 30. I don't trade these other indices. And I took them and I took some losses right there. And I took some heavy losses. Look at these NASDAQ, bro. This is like revenge trading right here. I was stupid. I literally took a trade and I was in profit in all of these too, but I just kept getting greedy. So I kept losing. Like right here, I lost 1700. Like I'm not ashamed to show you guys that, like, you know, I'm not a perfect trader, because, you know, it's not a smooth way. It's like, I'm not ashamed to show you guys that you can't just win. You know, if you start making mistakes, that's when you start to screw up. Like, look at this. All my losses right here are from NASDAQ. And this is like just me messing around, because I just got too big headed and got too confident. I thought I was gonna, you know, I thought I was unstoppable. So I was literally taking these trades, and I took all of these losses right here, and I was like, crap, okay, I'm negative 6,000. I got to get back to what's the requirement? 105,000. So I was like in the negative. I was about to lose my account. I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna take the daily US 30. So I went back to what I normally do, take my daily US 30 for 15 lots. And check this out. I went from 2000, like literally every day was like some fat profits, until I ended up passing my verification right here. So if you guys just follow the strategy, you know, the daily US 30 strategy, it's super possible, because look at all these wins. You guys could pass super easily. Yeah, it was a good comeback. I was low-key sad, bro. This was like 2 Sundays ago. It was like 2 Sundays ago. I was feeling all cocky, because I was like, all right, cool. I'm about to pass this verification like nothing. Because like right here, they're straight wins. So I was like, all right, I could take a couple losses, you know, no biggie. Those losses stacked up like fast. I lost 1,700, 1,000, 1,300, almost 1,000 yen, 1,400. And I was like, man, I can't mess this up. So I just sat down, got serious with it. And then literally all these wins, 2,200, 600, 2,000, 1,700, 300. I had one loss right there. You know, this happens. Like, people always try to avoid all the losses, but the losses are going to come. So like, if this happens, just eat the loss and keep moving. So I kept moving, and then I ended up passing, like 2 days ago. Let's see. Tiffany said, how much does it cost? So Tiffany, depending on your account size, oh, I had this thing. Yeah, so depending on the account size, I always do the 100K. I don't recommend anything under 50K. So 100K, it's cost 540 euros, which is, I think it's about 600 bucks US dollars. So that's for the 100K. And then the 50K is going to be 345. So those are those two. So this is a problem with the lower account size. So if you're doing 25K and 10K, it's not really worth your time, because the thing is, your profit. So say you make 2,500 a month, right? So you make 2,500 a month, and you only keep 70% of it. You're only making 1,700 a month. That's nothing. It's like, you might as well trade your own account, because if you're trading your own account, and then even if you're trading like the smallest lot size, like you know, 150 times how many trades are in a month? 10, 20. See, if you took 20 trades in a month and you just took the smallest lot size, 0.01, when you trade at 0.01, your profit per trade is going to be about 150. So 150 times 20 trades for a whole month, you're going to make 3,000. You make more money just trading your own account. Like, why would you waste your time doing FTMO with a small account? You're going to make barely any money. So you make 3,000 on your own, or you make 1750 with FTMO. It just makes no sense. You're literally wasting your time because you got to do this challenge. So you're not making money for 1 month. You're not making money for 2 months. You're not making money for 3 months. So 3 months right here, you could have made 9,000, but you made $0 because you wanted to trade a small account. There's literally no reason for you to do that. That's why I never recommend these smaller accounts. You know, if you're not comfortable, then just do the trial. And then when you're ready, go for the higher account. Cause like, check this out. So if you're doing the 50,000 account and say you're locking in like 5,000 a month, right? Times 70%, you're still going to lock in like 3,500 monthly. So you're not going to have profit for like maybe 2 or 3 months, but then you're going to trade risk free after that point. But, you know, back to my point, if you're trading a smaller account like the 25 or the 10, you're not going to make money for 3 months because you're going to be so focused trying to pass your FTMO. And then you're not going to make, like, you could literally just trade your own personal account and you can make more money that way and just grow the account. There's like no reason for you to waste time doing this. And then just do that. And once you make money trading your own account, then just go for the 100K. Because look, check this out. If you do the 100K and you're making 10,000 a month profit trading and you're doing 70%, your take home is 7,000. So you can see there's a huge difference between 100K, 50K, 25K. 25K, you're only making like 1,700 maybe take home. You know, 50K, you're making decent. What was the 50K again? 35K take home monthly. That's, I mean, it's better than this take home, like 1,700. So, I mean, it's fine. If you guys want to do the smaller account, I'm not saying not to, but I just don't recommend it. Like, there's just, I recommend just trading your own account because you make more money that way versus having to pass this challenge. Because the thing is, if you want to get to the 100K, you're going to have to do it again. So you might as well just go straight for it if you feel comfortable with it. But if you don't feel comfortable with it, then just do the trial. There's a, let me see, where's that at? See, if you're not ready for it, just do the free trial right here. And then if you pass this, then you're like, all right, cool, I'm good. So then you go for the higher account. Because see, like, my goal now is I have 2 of these. I'm gonna see if I can merge them. So I don't know if I can, but I have 200K accounts. I'm going for my 3rd one next, so I can merge this into 300K. So I could, like, we're doing 10,000 here, right? So like 10,000 times 3 times 70. So I can make like 21,000 a month if I merge all those together. This is my take home. And you guys can see that makes a huge difference. You know, it just doesn't make logical sense for you to do a smaller account. I mean, you guys can do it, but I personally don't recommend it. Let's see. So Toon said, so the first challenge takes 30 days to, Toon, so for the first challenge, you have 30 days to pass it, but the minimum days you can do it is 10. You can probably do it sooner than 30 days, but I don't recommend rushing it because if you rush it, that just increases your risk of losing. So you might as well just take your time. You know, you don't have to pass it within the exact 10 days. You can pass it in like 12 days or like, look at my account over here, bro. I passed this one in, I passed this in 16 days. I could have passed it in 10, but I fucked up over here. Like, I messed up here and then I had to take more days, but it's not really, I mean, you don't have to pass it within 10 days. So like, look at my challenge right here. See, my challenge, I passed it in 12 days, but this was different. So this went straight up, but I was just like, I was too busy doing other things where I was just taking the trade and letting it run, because look at my trades here for my challenge. Like, most of them were green, but I was scalping. So I was hitting like 330 and then the bigger ones over here. Oh, these are actually all scalps. So check this out. This is I was taking 50 lots, which is pretty crazy. I don't recommend anyone do this unless you know what you're doing. But yeah, I literally passed the actually I did this all in one day. So I made like 10,000 in one day. I think I showed you guys this in the group. So let me go to the premium channel. Where's the stuff that I sent? Yeah, so this was the this is why I messed up with this. The reason why this is like slumped like this was because I forgot about the account. Like I literally forgot that I had this challenge going, right? So like right here, it was just like nothing. It was flat for like days. So like check this out. I was so I started this account on July 28th, right? It hit. So my start date was July 28th, and I was ending on August 26th. So I literally didn't do anything until the 25th, right? Or the 25th right here, 24th. I was like chilling, and I was like, shit, my thing is due the next day. And I had literally had nothing. I was like at negative 1,754, right? So I was like, crap, I got one day to pass this challenge, or I'm gonna lose my, how much did I put in this? $600. I'm gonna lose $600. So I was like, nope, not gonna let that happen. So check this out. Look at all this green right here. I scalped this like crazy, 50 lots. And I made like, let's see. So I started right here. Yeah, so this is when it started. I was literally like, I was at 1,000, and then I was like, oh crap, I gotta like stack this up. So I went from 1,000 to 3,000 to 5,000 to 7,000 to 8,000. A little scalp right there, a little 100, a little couple more 100, 9,000, close to 10,000, 11,000. So I was already done at this point. At this point, I could have just chilled, but I was like, nah, FTMO is going to pass me. So I was like, I'll bump it up to 12,000. So I hit 12,000 right there. And you can see all my lots right here. I was going crazy. I was like, nope, nope, nope. I'm going to pass this. So I passed it. Like, look at all this green, bros. No losses. Literally scalped my ass off. Like, bro, look at that. So like went from 3,000 to 5,000 to 7,000. I just kept stacking them until I passed. So this is how it's possible. You know, if you master the K2 strategies and you're good at scalping using the pivot strategy, you can literally make 12,000 in one day. You know, the opportunity is literally endless if you know what you're doing. Like for me, if I really need to make the money, I can make it. But I was like literally slacking off for like a whole week or a whole month actually. Cause like, I don't know what happened, but I totally forgot about this. I think I was just too busy with teaching people because I had a bunch of mentoring sessions. So I literally forgot about it. And then it was the 25th. And the thing with FTMO is that they're on CES time. So they're like almost like half a day ahead. So it was the 25th our time. And I was like, crap, I literally have like 12 hours to make 12K. And that's what I did, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's totally possible. I mean, don't ever feel discouraged if you're in the negative, because I see a lot of people that always hit me up and they're like, bro, I'm down like $700. And I'm like, bro, I was down like $12,000. Like, you could do it. So it's possible. It's 100% possible. Let's see. Tiffany said, oh, wait, sorry, I'm going to go back to the top. Brian said, doesn't seem like you were banking the whole 1,500 pips. Yeah, Brian. So like during that time, I think there was a lot of news going on. So what I was doing was I was moving my stop loss to TP1. So I get out at like half TP. So not these right here, but I'll go back to my my funded account, or my, what's it called, my verification that I just passed. So like on some of these I was scalping. So like 370, this is obviously a scalp, because I was just, you know, on some days I just get bored and I want to scalp. So like right here was like TP1, like the 900. It was like TP1, TP1, TP1. Literally, these are all TP1. This is a full TP right here, TP1. Like they're not always going to be the same. Like you could, or like how I mentioned my strategy where I let one position run to full TP, one position run to TP1. That's like what happened right here. This was a full TP for $2,000. And then there's my TP1 right here for like 700, because the price was just moving all crazy. So that's why I have double profit sometimes on the same day. You can see that, you know, sometimes I do that where I'll hedge the position. But I mean, there's not one way to do it. Literally, if you just let it run to full TP, you could probably, you know, do just as good doing that. But it just really depends on your trading style. You know, if you want to do the two twin positions, or if you just want to run one, and then let it run to full TP, full stop loss. It's really up to you. Let's see. We have one more question from Tiffany. Tiffany said, so what's the weekly goal on this account? What's a percentage? So Tiffany, for this account, I don't really have a weekly goal. I just take the daily US 30. So you can see here, all my trades are just US 30. Aside from these NASDAQ that I was screwing around with, I'm never gonna do that again. But normally I just take the daily US 30, and then, you know, whatever profit ends up at the end of the month, that's just end up what I end up keeping. Like, I don't have a goal where I'm like, oh, I got to hit this much or I got to hit this much. It's kind of just, I just take it as it is, you know? So, you know, profit is profit. Honestly, that's how I see it, because the thing is, my profit from here, once I get this profit, I just move it to my personal account, and then I trade double, because I still trade my personal account too. I trade this and I trade my personal. So I make double profit. I make profit off FTMO. I make profit off my Who Goes Away. So I have recurring money every day. Plus I have the monthly, you know, payout through FTMO once I get this funded account next week. But they keep 30% and I keep 70. So let me see if they have the breakdown here. Yeah, right here. So it says right here, trade risk free, receive 70% of your profits. So at the end of the month, you get to keep 70%. So like I mentioned earlier, you know, if you have a 100K account, and then say you make 10,000 on a conservative month, you make 10,000 for that month, multiply 70%, you get to keep 7,000 out of that 10. But for me, I'm trying to merge the account. So I have 200K accounts. I don't know if they're going to let me merge it because it's already super in the negative. And if they're going to merge the negative, I'm just not going to take it. I'm going to throw it away because it's just not worth being in the hole for. So if you had a 200K account, because they let you merge accounts. So if you have 200K, you know, obviously your profit would probably be 20,000. Multiply that by 70, you get to keep 14,000 at the end of the month. And it just really depends on you. Like, you don't have to take all of this. So on my first account, I didn't take out all the money. Like, what I did was I left money for cushion, because like you can see right here, your max loss is 10,000. But if you leave money in the account, you can have a higher max loss. Sometimes it's better to do that because you never know when there's going to be a bad month, a bad week, a bad day, or whatever. Like, you obviously want to have some cushion, because if you fail that account, you're going to have to get a new one. So you're better off just leaving some money in the account if you don't like absolutely need it. And then you'll have an extra max loss for the following month and, you know, the months following that. But yeah, I think that's it for FTMO. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. Oh, sorry. Let's see. We have one from Brett. Brett said, do you ever scalp Aussie 200? Just had a big drop. I used to before. I used to see Aussie as the good, like the smoother moving indice, because it just, like, obviously just take a look at it. It moves a lot smoother than US 30, like super smooth. Me personally, I haven't traded it in a while, but it should probably work. So let me see here. So the problem with this is that the Aussie market opens at the swap spread. So I don't know. I haven't found like a sweet spot for when to actually. So yeah, this is open right here, 1650. So this is wait, this was recent. This was like, it was like 450. So yeah, I mean, if you took this trade right here, this would be freaking nice. I wish I did. I wish Brett told me earlier. I'm just kidding. Let's see. So this right here, this was a 150. Yeah, if you were to apply the strategy here, 1500, it's a nice win right there. Let's back test it a little bit. Let's see. 1650. Wow, this actually kind of hits. So like, you know, if we skip this one right here and we ended up taking this one over here, actually, this is kind of risky. I guess the same rule from before, where if it, you know, if the signal doesn't come up within the first couple hours or whatever, I just skip it, which would make sense here because this thing didn't come for like, yeah, 3 hours. We would have just skipped that. Let's back test one more. I'm just intrigued now because it looks like it's a good strategy. Oh shit. Wait, this is really good. Hey, Brett, you should do this. You should start taking them too. I'm gonna start taking them actually. Check this out. Damn. All right, cool. So full TP, like right direct hit. And I was like taking candy from baby, bro. Look at this. Straight TP for this one too. Damn, this is tight. And thanks for the heads up, Brett. Let's see, 1650. What? Check this out. Oh man, if we took every trade this week, I'm like, so we might have to work on the stop loss because it looks like the stop loss might be a little too tight. Because if you put it the swing up here for about 250, and the thing is, I think it's a cheaper pair to trade anyways. Damn, check that out. Straight to TP. Same with this one, 250. Okay, so maybe 250 is the sweet spot for this one. Straight to TP. Obviously, this one's straight TP too. All right, let's do one more. Damn, this is sick. This is 27. So the 27 was in the market just open, so we probably wouldn't take this one. But heck, if we did take it, I think it still would have hit. But I mean, obviously I wouldn't take the Sunday one because the market literally would have just opened. I mean, shit, if you took this one too, it still would have hit. Jeez. Dang, yeah, Brett, this is nice, bro. I think I'm gonna start back testing this too. Hey, Brian. So for the Aussie 200, it would start at 1650 our time. So LA time, 1650. And you can tell because the market turns over from there. You can see a big gap right here. So it goes from 1350 to 1650. Market's closed for 2 hours, and then it reopens on 1650. Dang, this is crazy, bro. Like oh man, now I'm excited. I'm like, now I got another session to trade, because then now we could trade London, we could trade US, and then we could trade Aussie. Like, man, profits are nonstop, literally all day. I'm kind of excited, so I want to go back one more day. Let's just go back one more day. Oh man, this is fucking gold, bro. Check this out, Brett. Damn, dude. What? This is insane. Hey, don't show anybody this. Let me delete this this webinar once we're done. It's gonna be our secret. Oh man, this is insane. Oh my god, bro, this is sick. Look at this. Oh man. I mean, I probably would have exited in profit somewhere over here because this would have went on for too long. But man, geez, look at this. This is crazy. This one too. I think we actually, or I think I probably looked over this at some point because I have this marked up action. Actually, I was back testing it. Check this out. I was doing this on the low. Yeah, dude, look. Damn. So I was back testing this. I just never told anybody. But yeah, look, check this out, Brett. So I back tested this already on the 22nd. It looks like I was actually doing it myself, but I just forgot about it. I don't know why, but it looks good. So yeah, basically, same strategy, just after 1650. And then if the trade doesn't appear within, I guess, 3 hours, then just let it go. But it looks like it normally does hit. Brian said, so I would have to backtest a little more, Brian, because I'm not 100% yet. But it kind of looks like 250 is probably the magic number, yeah. So yeah, 250 is probably the magic number for full TP, and then maybe TP1 you'll do like maybe half, because I haven't back tested enough to really understand if it works that way all the time. You know, because you obviously don't want to take on too much risk, but overall it looks pretty cool. Damn, I'm like mind fucked now. I kind of want to. Damn, let me see. I missed this though, man. This would have been good. 1650. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, man. So yeah, there we go, guys. We have another. Whoever's on here knows what we're doing now. Whoever missed this webinar, sucks for them. I'm not gonna tell anybody about this. Maybe later, but I want to make some money first before I make this public. But yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, cool. So it's about to be 6. Let me just scan the charts real quick. I'm just gonna do it super quick on my own. So for me, I do this every day, so I could literally just take a glance at the chart. I'll see if there's any entries. Nothing, 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 nothing. NZDCHF. Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's any FX pairs to take right now, which is fine. It is NFP, like I mentioned. Like, I think we might be done for the week, actually, guys. So our odd NZD is still running. I'll leave that up. NZDCHF, I'll leave that up too. I think once it reaches TP1, I'm probably gonna manually exit, because the thing is, I'm probably not gonna be able to monitor it tomorrow. I'm gonna be moving tomorrow, guys, so I'm gonna be a little busy. So if you guys have any questions tomorrow, I probably won't get back to you guys until like Saturday. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything else. Man, I kind of regret not taking this trade right here, but it's all good. Let's see. Yeah, everything else looks like it's pretty much just chilling. Like the market's pretty much dead overall because of NFP tomorrow. A lot of people pulled out. They're just gonna chill and take an early weekend. Sounds like a good idea. Check this out. Hero Auto over here, actually. Yeah, Brian, let's make some money. Brian and Brett, man, we're gonna make some money off that Aussie 200. Check this out. No, I'm not gonna call this. This just looks a little risky. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not gonna call Euro odd. I don't want to go and burn our profits from the week. I don't even think. Do we have any losses this week, guys? I don't know. Let me check. I don't think we do. So we didn't have no losses last week. We didn't have no losses this week. Man, people don't think we're lying. Yeah, there's no losses this week. Damn. That's crazy. So no losses this week, no losses last week. I mean, you guys are witnesses to it. I'm not making this shit up. So if people think we're lying, I mean, whatever. James said, what's entry time? Hey, James, are you talking about the Aussie 200? So if you're talking about the Aussie 200, the entry time is going to be 1650 Pacific Daylight Savings Time. So I'm not sure where you're located, James, but I think LA time, Pacific Daylight Savings Time, that's going to be 450. So 450 my time. I'm not sure where you're located, but yeah, you can base it off that. But yeah, we literally did like a decent back test of this. Let me just take off the indicators. So we have a 1 win, 2 win, 3 win, 4 win, 5 win. I don't even think there's any losses, bro. I mean, there's one right here which could have been a loss, but if you move your stop loss and profit, you would have been good. EST, so you would be 740. Be 740 your time, James. But yeah, I was looking back at here. There's like 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, 11 wins, 12. Yeah, it's a lot. 13 is a loss. Okay, so we have 1 loss, 2 losses, 14. All right, so from September 11 until now, it was like, I think 11 or 12 wins or more, or maybe. So like maybe 11 or 12 wins and then 2 losses. So like if we add that up, it's like what, 250 or 2,500 times 12 minus 2,500, 5,000. So damn, so from September 11th till now, it'd be 25,000 pips. So if you're doing a mini lot, that'd be 25K in less than a week. It's a lot. I mean, not a week, less than a month. And do that once a month. So if you do this plus London session plus US session for US 30, that's crazy. That's a lot of profit. Oh man, I'm pretty excited now. I got something to look forward to next week. So I'm probably gonna backtest this next week, and then I mean it doesn't really seem like there's a need for a backtest because it just hits. Let's see if there's another one here. 1650. Damn, this one too. Let's see. But yeah, Brian, we have to figure out the whole stop loss situation because that's gonna be critical, you know, like you mentioned. But it looks like yeah, no, it looks like 250 might be the sweet spot for us, because check this out, 250 right here. So 250, but also keep in mind of, actually, you might as well just let it run a full TP, because majority of the time it hit full TP. Like, yeah, there's like like 2 losses out of like 14 wins, but this is a smaller one. So yeah, maybe we have to keep in mind to adjust stop loss, because it looks like on some days it doesn't move up. Well, there's probably something going on this day too. You have to keep in mind that there was probably news on some of these days that we weren't aware of because we haven't looked at it. But it looks like 2,500 is the sweet spot. And then if we were to move stop loss like right here, TP1, you know, you could guarantee a win there. But yeah, overall looks good. So let's see. Is there any other questions, guys? So, let me get some water. Brian said, just gotta adjust my sleeping. Yeah, no, same here. I was gonna adjust my sleeping so I could stay up during London, but I might as well trade the Aussie session. It looks like it's way more accurate. So we'll see about that. Let's see. Works out because I'll be ES. Are you gonna be EST, Brian? Are you moving to the East Coast? Damn, you're gonna be ahead. I feel like, yeah, the East Coast, you probably have, it's better for you because you're gonna be ahead instead of our time over here. All right, cool. So let's see. I think that's it for the questions, guys. So if you guys have any other questions, it's already 6 p.m. So we've been on this webinar for a little over 2 hours. I'm gonna get off for a bit. I gotta start packing because I'm moving tomorrow. Oh yeah, you told me to go to Tufts. Yeah, so you're like on that side, way out there. Deswell said, "Are we going to trade AU 200?" So do you have the indicators, Deswell? Because we're going to be trading it. I don't know if I'm going to be giving signals just yet. I'm probably going to trade this on my own for a bit. And once I feel comfortable with it, then I'm going to start giving out signals. But currently, I'm probably just going to be doing it on my own. I think Brett's going to do it on his own too, and Brian. So pretty much whoever has the indicators is going to be applying it themselves, because this is such a high win rate. You know, it's hard to say no to this. Like literally, you could just toss in a trade and let it run, and just like pretty much stack up for the most part. And that's what I like about the Aussie too, is because it moves really smoothly. It doesn't move all crazy like the US 30 or Nasdaq. So it might be something good to trade. But yeah, guys, so thanks for showing up, guys. If you guys are new here, just remember I do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. I'm probably going to start doing it a little more often, maybe every day, because I'm going to have a little more time. But thanks, Brett, for bringing up this strategy. This is going to be something crazy. Oh, Dominic came out of nowhere. I thought Dominic left. Dominic said, I'm definitely going to trade it. Yeah, this looks like something really, really lucrative. Like, it's crazy. I didn't realize that it was this good. This might be better than the US 30 strategy. But yeah, guys, so yeah, thanks for showing up. This will be on the YouTube in a little bit, or actually it should be available right away, but I'm going to go grab dinner and then I'll be available for you guys. If you guys have any other questions on the Telegram, probably within the next 30 minutes. So yeah, guys, thanks for showing up. I'll catch you guys in a little bit, and then I'll see you guys on the Telegram page. So guys, see you later.